All right, we got some news for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And look, obviously, signing day is here. A lot of exciting developments going on in terms of the recruiting world. But Alabama isn't just making big time moves in the recruiting department. They also made a massive move in the transfer portal as well. Mize, if you go ahead and pull up the report, I will read from it. This is from On3 Sports. Former Texas A&M defensive lineman LT Overton has committed to Alabama, he tells On3. The 6'5", 265-pound defensive lineman will have 2 years of eligibility remaining. In his 2 years with the Aggies, Overton totaled 48 tackles and 1 sack. The Peach State defensive lineman was once ranked as the #1 player in the 2023 class before reclassifying to 2022. All right, this is obviously, literally, and figuratively a big get for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Overton was tremendously talented coming out of high school. It was considered a massive win for A&M to get him into their program. He didn't really live up to the expectations at Texas A&M, but I'm going to be totally honest. I think a lot of that was coaching. I think Jimbo Fisher and the program he had set up at A&M was terrible, to be totally frank, at developing the players they had, managing them, putting them in situations to be successful. I think Overton still has a lot, if not all, the physical tools that made him so impressive coming out of high school, plus 2 years in an SEC strength and conditioning program. I think I would argue right now he's actually a better prospect now than he was coming out of high school, obviously going through all those development. He's older, more physically defined, things like that. But I also want to emphasize something with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Each of the past 2 seasons, they have totaled a grand total of 5 transfer portal additions each year. This is the first in the 2024 class, according to 24/7 Sports. Nick Saban is big on using the transfer portal for quality, not for quantity. He targets specific players in specific situations to go after them because he thinks he can put them in positions to be successful, to create a lot of value for Alabama. I think he sees something in Overton. I think he was likely very aggressive in getting him. And I think that means he's got a plan for this guy, which should be a good sign for this Alabama defense in the future. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on Overton right now and just everything going on with the Crimson Tide program. But first, Alabama fans, obviously this time of year, it's kind of exciting. Obviously, college football playoff isn't that far away, but you are seeing the next generation, the next phase of Alabama players coming into the fold. What's your favorite new Crimson Tide? Commit, transfer, whatever it may be that you're really excited to see. Let us know in the comment section below. But Miles, what do you think of this addition by the Alabama Crimson Tide?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is a huge addition for Alabama. Former 5-star, I say former, he's still a 5-star, but now he's in college. So transfer portal rank, he's a little bit different, but a 5-star guy coming out of high school, came to Texas A&M. They see the cracks. The program's, a little bit shaky right now. Alabama swoops in, they make their move, bring over, like you said, not really huge in the transfer portal. They like to get their guys, they like to target the best guys they can find, get him over to Alabama, and Alabama known for having great defensive players, great defensive line. I think that this could be really big for them as well. And LT Overton, he said it himself. Alabama was the first people to contact him as soon as he got into the portal. It's almost like they were eyeing him from day one. He was able, as soon as he got into the portal, he said Coach Roach immediately contact him. He got calls, texts, everything. They started building back their relationship because Alabama had recruited him in the beginning. So this is a guy, Alabama, they've had their eyes on, like you said, from day one. As soon as he got into the portal, they really just tried to go after him as hard as possible because they knew this is a guy they wanted on their team. Like you said, quality players. This is a truly quality player, highest of pedigrees. This guy really could be something special if put in that tough Alabama defense with all the talent around him. I think Alabama can have one of the most dominant defensive lines in all of college football. I think this guy just adds to it. So this is a really big one for Alabama. Not only to get a kid from Georgia to Alabama, not only to get a kid from Texas, that's now Texas, to Alabama. I think these are just major wins for Alabama recruiting, just showing that they can keep continuing getting the best and brightest guys out of the transfer portal.
And one thing I really like about what Nick Saban's strategy in terms of getting Overton, and it seems his overall strategy with the transfer portal, is he likes to zig when other programs zag, right? Everyone seems to be using the transfer portal to get a flashy veteran quarterback or a flashy wide receiver. A lot of demand, a lot of attention to get that one wide receiver, one running back, one tight end, one quarterback, whatever skill guy. Saban seems to really like going after the lineman right now in the transfer portal, which I think is a smart move. Again, Go where people aren't. There's obviously a lot of talent. Overton's a great example of that, but he's not getting the attention the way some of the big name skill guys are in the transfer portal. Makes it even easier for Alabama to secure him with a little less effort as well. So again, I like the strategy of Nick Saban focusing on the linemen. Look, I'm impartial. I always love adding more linemen to a program. I think that always makes you better. Obviously, the quarterbacks and receivers are the bigger, flashier names. But I think Nick Saban's strategy going after linemen when everyone else seems to be kind of deferring to the skill guys could pay big dividends because it allows you to get more value. And again, Saban's all about value in the transfer portal.